Yo, what's up, family? Before we start the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share to any and everyone that you can. Just read out there a little bit more. With that being said, let's get right into the video. And the Celtics miraculously come out in an OT thriller. I think the final score was 133 to 128. I was not home after the game, so I couldn't give y'all that nightcap to put y'all to sleep. I'm sorry. Y'all will be getting multiple videos tomorrow if everything goes to plan. But it's so much shit in this game, bro. It's so much to unwrap. The offense, like, you know, sometimes it's stagnant, but you come out in those first like 3 minutes of the game and you go up 12-0, and people just have to understand that everything starts with defense. When this team takes defense seriously, everything happens, bro. Everything becomes so much easier. When the Celtics play defense how they're supposed to, everything is easy from there. You start 12-0 because the Pacers did not have any rhythm. They were doing the same actions throughout the entire game that they did at the start of the game. You shut all that shit down. They're dribbling around half court. They're losing the ball. You're playing defense, right? That's how you go up 12-0. And then you start to slack. Now, that could be personnel with guys coming off the floor, with Hauser and Luke, who we'll talk about later, coming in. And then you have, you know, Pritchard, who's smaller, who is still a solid defender. And then you have guys just slack off and they're not playing at 100%. And trust me, I understand it is hard to go all out on defense for an entire game, for an entire series, for an entire playoff run. I do understand that, bro. But are you willing to do what it takes to win a championship? And to get past this series, again, I said it in my preview. I will reference a couple things that I said in that video. You have to play defense against this team. You can get away with not playing defense against a hurt Heat team. You can get away with not playing great defense against a Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen-less Cavaliers team. You can get away with not playing great defense, even though you should still be playing it no matter who's on the floor. You can get away with it. You're not going to be able to do that in the series. The one thing, it's the first thing, if you think about the things that need to improve on defense, is the pick and roll defense. The Celtics act like they've never seen a pick and roll in their fucking life. I don't understand it. They are by far the worst pick and roll defense in the playoffs. I think they're giving up like 1.3 points per possession on pick and rolls and like handoffs. I get the Pacers are quick, but you also have quickness. And I thought Al Horford was going to be fresh in this game. With time off, he's usually a godsend. He was okay at best on offense. Like, he had a couple of post touches where he flashed back to his Atlanta Hawks days and got us some much needed buckets, but he was 3 for 12 from 3. And I had a fear, again, I said this in my preview, that there's a part of me that thinks that Turner is just going to be like, I'm worried about Tatum, Brown, Derek White, Jrue Holiday, and all these other guys. Al Horford, I just seen you go 0 for 10 in a 2-game stretch. Just shoot the damn ball. And he went 3 for 12, and a lot of those were open. We need Al Horford to hit more than that, than 25%. But I didn't think Al was that bad on offense. But defense, like, they're just searching him out. Turner, if Pascal, who he was on late, they're searching him out. All Celtics fans, it's not just me. All Celtics fans have noticed that, especially with KP out, we need another big outside of Luke Cornett, especially in this series. I spoke about drop coverage in my preview like 5 times. This is not the series for it. And somebody who's good at drop coverage is Luke Cornett. This is not it. He was not good in his minutes. Miles Turner, when he sees Luke Cornett, is just like, oh, he's invisible to Miles Turner. He sees Luke Cornett and he's not deterred at all. Then the pick and roll defense, bro, I don't even like. Sometimes it looks like they're committing to a drop coverage, and then in the same possession they're switching and not getting to bodies like the Pacers aren't going to drive. They lead the playoffs in drives. They are a 2-point team. They want to get downhill. Again, the pace. They averaged 30 assists. They had about 38 in this game. Their average time per touch is 2.7 seconds. You saw that in this game. Every decision is quick and decisive. They know where they're going. They know what they want to get to. If they don't have anything after their move, they're letting it go, and somebody else is getting it. That is not something I want Al Horford to be experiencing for 40 minutes. That is not something I want Luke Kornet to be experiencing for 15 minutes. So every time a Celtics fan clamors for Tillman in a regular season game, in the Heat series, in the Cavs series, right? Everybody knew we were getting through those rounds. The shit that we do in those rounds is for the later rounds that we don't know we're going to get out of as cleanly, right? So especially when KP goes out, there's no reason for you not to try Tillman in the Cleveland series, especially when Jared Allen's out. Because when Evan Mobley sits down, who's their center? Tristan Thompson? Put Tillman in the game. Joe is going to have to get creative, and I want to give this to Joe. There were notable adjustments in this game that he made that were stellar and that were needed. I feel like this was one of his best games, especially in the playoffs. But he's going to have to get creative with that 5 spot, that backup 5 spot. I won't be surprised if there's a game where he closed with Tatum at the 5 or Drew at the 5, right? Pacers only really played one center tonight, and that was Turner. Jalen Smith got like a few minutes. Isaiah Jackson got a few minutes. But in the Knicks series and the Bucks series, where those teams have like Hartenstein and they had Robinson and they have Achua, the Bucks have Brook Lopez and Bobby Porter. They have Portis. They have multiple bigs. Isaiah Jackson is playing a lot of minutes. But against us, Carlisle saying that Luke Kornet was on the floor, and they were just like, oh, we don't have to play Isaiah Jackson. We don't have to play him a lot of minutes tonight. I'm just like, what? like, don't put Luke out there then. If there's no other center or there's not a bruising center on the other side when Turner's out, what is Luke doing, bro? Because at that point, you're putting Luke in a position you know he's not going to be successful in. We need to fix that shit, bro. And then I want to give flowers to a couple people. Jaylen Brown, again, I knew that he would be effective in the series. He shot 60% in the regular season series against the Pacers. I knew that he was going to be able to get to his spots. But the defense in this game, man, the clutchness of Jaylen Brown, we would not be here without him. He saved that game, right? The deflection, then the 3 at the end of regulation, and then again. The Pacers had 22 turnovers. That is the only thing that saved the Celtics. Because in pockets where they needed to play defense, they did. Jaylen Brown, a deflection. Drew Holiday bodying Tyrese Halliburton out of bounds without fouling him. Jason Tatum on that last possession against Tyrese Halliburton, not letting him get a shot off. Everything gets so much easier when the Celtics stop trolling on defense. Again, I do understand. It is tiring to play your heart on the defensive side of the ball every second of the game. I do understand that, bro, but that is what it takes. And you almost lost this game because you had stretches where you didn't do that. Tatum, again, I feel like he had a good game. That, you know, the turnover, it was a crucial one, and he would get more blame if they lost this game. Overall, he played good. He played a good game. He was 46%, I believe, from the field. It's that 3 ball, bro. And I put out a video at the beginning of the season. It was titled, "If Jason Tatum does this, he will be unstoppable." And the premise of the video was take more twos. He was averaging about 9 threes per game at that time. He went on this season to average about 9 threes per game. He was shooting about 60% from 2, but 33% from 3. If you take those 9 attempts and cut them down to 5, and the rest of those attempts that you take it from the 3s are 2s, his efficiency is just naturally going to go up because he's so good from 2. And in this game, the Celtics did a great job of using Tatum as a screener, getting him favorable matchups, and when he got those, he attacked them on most occasions. I still think he needs to be a little bit more decisive when he gets those mismatches. Still a lot of times where he's holding the ball on the perimeter, he's just dribbling side to side on the perimeter, and then the clock gets to 5 seconds and now he has to do something quick. He's talented enough to get out of those situations with a foul or a bucket. Also, so I'm not saying in the preview, the Pacers, they fouled the most in the regular season. They fouled the most in the postseason. And the Celtics should be able to get free throws. 24 for 30 from the free throw line. We have to keep up that aggressiveness if we want to win this series. Drew Holiday, I'm pouring honey on you, man. Everybody pouring honey on you, man. I did a video about him in the Cavs series. I said that was his best game as a Celtic. Nope, he's just going to top that. Nope. This right here. Almost scored 30 points. The clutch time offense, I credit a lot to Drew Holiday just doing anything, whether he's bringing the ball up, he's screening, he's passing. Then that play on Halliburton was crazy. Like, he walled him up. without touching him. He walled him up and made him just run out of bounds. It was amazing, man. Drew, again, I'm pouring honey on you, GOAT. I fuck with that, man. And yeah, not a perfect game. A lot to learn on the film. A short turnaround. We play on Thursday. You got 1 day to look at that film, binge it, work on some stuff, and that pick and roll defense, man, you got to do something. A couple questions that I asked in the preview was, how much drop are we going to play? They play a substantial amount. It didn't work. And will Joe Mazzulla give a fuck about the mid-range shots and how ass drop will be? It worked to a level for the Pacers where he needs to care about it. A part of me is like, oh, he won't care about twos. We'll just have to see. Again, I talked about it a little bit with Luke and Tillman possibly playing. If Tillman can play, he needs to take all the time that he needs. But the moment he decides to come back, Joe Mazzulla, you cannot sit on your hands with this shit. You gotta play him, bro. If he decides to come back, you have to play him. Luke Cornett, this is not the series for him. It's just not. It's not. Sam Hauser, where have you been, brother? Sam, I love you, bro. But again, the Pacers bench is all athletes. There's no matchup for Sam Hauser, and those guys are running him off the three-point line, and that's 85% of his shots is threes. And then the times he's getting open look, he doesn't have a rhythm, so he's missing them. So just based off game one, Luke and Sam Hauser, they're not going to be in this series. And if you don't have those two, that leaves you with Tatum, Brown, Drew, White, Horford, Pritchard. 6 effective players in an Eastern Conference Finals. You got to try something, bro. But that is in the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, share any and everyone that you can. Just reading out there a little bit more. I will see you guys in the next video. This is Nick. Peace.